In the studio with me from the Brockville and Area Community Foundation, I'm talking with the Executive Director, Stephanie Steed, as well as Amanda Petch is with us from the Brockville and Area Food Bank, and she's the Operations Manager there. So today we're talking about the foundation, and my first question will be going to Stephanie, which is, please tell our viewers about the Brockville and Area Community Foundation.
Absolutely.
What are you?
What are we and what do we do?
Yes.
So we are a public foundation. We are entirely created by the people for the people. This year, we're turning 50. So it's a big year for us.
You're turning 50?
We're turning 50. We've been supporting our local nonprofit sector for 50 years. So how a community foundation works, there's community foundations all across Canada. We're part of a network of over 200 chapters across the country. How they work, really, it's about building endowment funds. What's an endowment fund? It's permanently invested funds that grow over time and support our community in perpetuity. So each and every single year, we generate income that goes directly to our local nonprofit sector. We kind of serve as a charity for charities, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does indeed. And very well said, very well said. And Amanda, you were one of many recipients.
Yes, we were.
And you were awarded how much?
We were awarded $700 to go towards Unhoused Pact. So that gave us the option of giving a pack to everyone who is unhoused in our community. It puts something warm in there, like a hat or two gloves, usually all of it, t-shirt, and then we got a mug, a backpack itself, and then a can opener, flashlight. So they have some options, and then also feminine hygiene products. So that all went into the pack for anyone who is unhoused, and then that tried to keep them a little bit warmer over the winter.
And I love the idea of the can opener.
Yes.
Because we just take for granted you can open that can.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Most of them don't have the flip top. So
That's right.
You're right.
we always try to have some on hand.
Good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So what kind of a difference did it make for you?
It made a massive difference, actually, because for us, we don't get any funding from federal, provincial, or municipal governments. It's all donations and grants. So if it wasn't for the Brockville Foundation, we wouldn't have gotten these together. We've had donations in the past from some of our volunteers, but never to the extent that we needed.
Yes.
There's about 300 unhoused in this community. So that gave us the option to give everyone who came in who needed it something.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. See, it's seeing what the foundation is doing that is so meaningful to the community.
Yeah.
Really, really is.
Absolutely.
Okay, so just recently there was the city of Brockville. They have an endowment with you, do they not?
That's right.
And there was some announcements that were made for and awarded to various organizations.
Right.
So, but there's other funds that you also have.
That's right.
So tell us about this.
Absolutely.
Please.
So every single fall, we have our grant cycle. So on September 1st, we will open up our fall granting cycle. It will run until about October 4th. Our charities know the drill. I will email, remind, and make sure that they get their applications in for funding from the Brockville and Area Community Foundation. And the Community Fund, that is one of 23 funds that are held and managed at the Brockville and Area Community Foundation. That's our fund. We created that internally back in the 90s. It's our third largest fund. I think it has about $138,000 invested at this time. This generates about $6,000 or $7,000 a year available each and every year in perpetuity, available for granting. So like I said, there's $6,000 to $7,000 available. But last year we received from our charities, just from this fund, this one of 23 funds, we received over $65,000 in funding requests.
Wow.
We heard from over 35 charities. So making those choices on these vital projects,
hard.
It's really hard, and you want to say yes to all of them. So
Yes.
we're really trying to grow this fund. We know it can make a huge impact.
Now, you just mentioned that this is the third. What's the number one?
The Thomas Daly Fund.
The Thomas Daly.
Yes,
Oh, good.
Thomas Daly. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Thomas Daly. He was a real activist, a real a supporter of downtown Brockville. And when he passed, he left a gift to the Brockville and Area Community Foundation to create a named fund, the Thomas Daly Endowment Fund. And the purpose that he chose himself to create this legacy for himself is to support projects specific to downtown Brockville. So the beautification of downtown Brockville parks, waterfront trails. So last year, the Brockville Rowing Club received a grant from the Thomas Daly Endowment Fund, as did the city. So you'll kind of start noticing little breadcrumbs of the Thomas Daly Endowment Fund all around our downtown core, because his legacy, his impact lives on year after year after year.
Wonderful.
It's amazing.
He had vision.
He had vision.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
He-
Long-term vision. That's right.
Yes. Well, he knew the impact it would have.
That's right.
And it has.
And it has.
Like, whoa.
Yes.
Okay, so should people be thinking about submitting their application to the foundation? Is this something they should be, it should be on the calendar?
Get it on the calendar. I will
Yeah.
send lots of reminders. I have a growing list of charities who are ready to get their applications in. September 1st to October 4th. I will send out all the reminders I can. Visit our website. It's very user-friendly. The application will be embedded straight through our website. It will remain open until October 4th. After then, if you're wondering how the selection kind of process works,
Yes.
we do assemble a volunteer grants committee. So we do have our board treasurer sit on this team, and then we assemble a group of community members who we know to be community-minded, involved, in the know, have a pulse on what's going on in our community to make the choice as to which charities, which projects receive funds year after year.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's talk about the other side of that, Stephanie. For people that want to leave a legacy and they're thinking, what am I going to do? If they contacted you at the foundation, there could be another fund set up.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Yes. In the past 2 years, we've actually grown by 7 funds. So this is exciting for us.
Yes.
But also the community fund, that's, like I said, that's our fund. If you really just want to see your legacy live on in our community, that one has tremendous reach. Year after year, our charities are benefiting from it. It's not just one charity who is receiving. All the charities get to apply from that fund specifically. We're hoping to see it we're hoping to see it grow.
Yes.
But then the named funds are so special too. And I wish I could deep dive into the vision, the mission, and the impact and the heart and soul of all 23 of our funds, because they are so specific to the fund holders. We could certainly come up with something creative and meaningful too to you.
It just depends on the individual and what they
does.
want to do. If they want to be
Exactly.
part of, or if they want to be solo.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know,
Exactly.
And they can direct it to where they want the
That's
awards
right.
to go.
They can. That's right. You
Yeah.
can be as hands-on or as hands-off as you'd wish to be as a fund holder. Whether
yeah.
you say, we trust the foundation to make decisions as to where these funds are needed, or if you'd like to see and have a real voice in where your gift goes to each and every year.
Well, I'm thinking like education, environment, things of this nature.
Totally.
You know,
Totally. And
Yes.
we do have a nice kind of umbrella of support, but there are some gaps. We don't have an environmental based fund. We don't have an emergency crisis fund, which many of those other community foundations across Canada, many of them do have funds for those instances. So there's some gaps that I'm really hopeful that they will be filled over the years.
So this might be an odd question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Why not? Sure.
Okay, so if there's a person out there that is thinking, I do have a little pot of money, and maybe we should set up a fund in my family's name or whatever, what would you suggest to them? Would you suggest to them the environment or what you had just had said about the emergency
I would
fund?
deep dive into their why. I would deep
Okay.
dive into what is the most meaningful thing to
them?
your
Yes.
giving heart.
Uh-huh.
A major crisis in our community is the housing issue, and
Yes.
we don't have a housing-related fund, a specific housing-related fund. So that would be definitely on my wish list of things that we'd like to see. But I really do just try to get to learn about the fund holder themselves. For instance, we have one fund that came to us last year, the Fullerton Fit Family Fund. These two in our community, they're well-known, sporty people.
Yes.
And once we got to know them a little bit more, they decided we want to start a fund that benefits children getting involved in healthy living. And so the only stipulation is that we can only grant to registered charities.
Yes.
But we can make that happen for them. So I try to get into the heart and soul of where they want their gift to go to.
To make sure they're going to be happy.
That's right.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you very much for coming in, sitting down with me, talking about the Brockville and Area Community Foundation as well as our food bank.
Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you so much.